Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about the Celestial Kitchen Nobility Star. Now it really in Chinese is heaven kitchen, so that's where you get the celestial, and this is nobleman. But we'll stick with this language because it does seem to be used pretty regularly. Now, it is a interesting star for an unusual reason, but it can use the year or the day heaven stem as the focus. And then we have to have a completion, which is a branch. But the unusual thing about this is there seems to be two different sets of the focus is just the 10 heaven stems, but the branches differ in these two different, I guess I would call them two different schools. So there's a lot of uncertainty about, at least on my part, who's right. I have no idea. But I'm hoping that those of you who happen to have this star can actually help me figure out which one's right. So you look for a year stem and the day stem. So you look in the year and day columns, and it's that top, element. And so we have yang wood, yang fire, yang earth, yang metal, yang water, yin water. Now, these are the two schools. The only thing that's consistent between the two is for the two wood uh, stems. And for the yang wood, it's snake in either school, and for the yin wood, it's horse. But everything else here is different. And so this is kind of quite questionable, or not questionable. I think one of these is probably right. And I don't know how the other one got created, but I would say that maybe things aren't, from looking at just the people I know, I'm thinking that maybe school two is right, but I'm hoping to get some help from you guys because I really don't know who's correct. The only thing I can say is, well, for the wood, we should know what it is. Now, because there's these two sets, I would like to know if they happen to apply or happen to be in your chart. Which school does the completion branch appear in? And as we go on, does this make sense to you, what it predicts? So school one comes from the list is in Patrick Chu's book, and also this one website. I have read and used this website, this general thing, not this particular website, but this general, I don't know what to call it. uh, the but that's the name of the everything, and then all this is the subdirectory kind of stuff. But anyway, this one I have used before. This one was kind of surprising. Oftentimes I can just get some overview from this guy, but this time they actually listed something more in full. And then school two comes from these two websites. Now the Sohu, if that's how it's pronounced, website is a very, very good website in general, but it is extraordinarily hard to navigate. Now, all these three are in Chinese. Patrick Chu's books in English, but I've found a lot of really good information, really in-depth information from the Sohu.com general website. But I always have to search for it because I cannot navigate their website. It's just too difficult. Now, as you might infer from the name, individuals with a star tend to enjoy cooking and are usually good cooks and may even be suitable to become professional chefs. And they also tend to enjoy eating because people who like to cook tend to like to eat also. But this does not hold for all conditions. There is one specific condition that's basically the opposite. Now, this star also tends to make better marriages, at least less conflict in the marriage. So that is another good thing about this. Maybe if one person is a good cook, that tends to help the relationship. I would guess that's probably true. Now, if the star is present as a day pillar, that is, the completion branch is also in the day along with the with that heaven stem that's in the day, then or the completion branch is the day. Either one works. These individuals might have the skills to become professional chefs. I mean, they may need a little education, but they have what it takes and they have the interest usually and could actually be a professional chef, and they do get paid a fair amount of money. Now, not all the stems can have the day pillar, but all can have the completion branch in the day pillar. If you look at your year stem, then you can certainly have the day be the right animal. There's nothing that would restrict that. But if you're talking about the day pillar, well, like for example here, the yin wood, this is yin wood, these are yang, so that will never appear as a day pillar. Same thing here, this is yang, this is yin, never would be a day pillar. But the ones that are highlighted in yellow can exist. So I just wanted to be a little clear about this. And you can see that the two different schools kind of very, very different. Here, half of them could be a day pillar. Here, only 3 out of the 10 can be, so it's less chance. Again, I don't know who's right. Now, there are other factors we look at, and that will depend on the 10 god of the heaven stem of the completion branch. And I'll show you some examples, so that might help. But you can also check the hidden stems and see what the 10 god identification is there too, because they're not very clear. It's probably more likely the heaven stem, though, just because they don't say it could be anywhere. They say just check the stem, and they usually mean the heaven stem when they say that. Now, if your heaven stem is a wealth stem, that is IW or DW, or an official, which is DO and 7K, then this tends to be good for wealth and career. It doesn't necessarily have to involve food, but oftentimes it does, maybe not so directly, but as part of the food chain. If the heaven stem is a direct resource or indirect resource, these people tend to be good in academics but are picky eaters. They often pay a lot of attention to the quality of the food, so they don't eat junk food very much. And they don't like to cook. So this is the example of the thing that is out of sync with what most of the people with the Celestial Kitchen Nobility Star would have. And because they don't like to cook, it's possible they may eat out more or take out more than the average person. But then again, they have to find out, since they're picky eaters, they have to find the right places. And that may not be possible depending on where they live. Now, if the heaven stem is an EG or an HO, those are the outputs. Then this person is not a picky eater. They love to eat. They are typically very good cooks, but this love of eating may cause health problems. That is, they tend to overeat because they enjoy food so much. Nothing is specifically stated about the friend or the Rob wealth, but I think it would just be general. They're good. They're usually good cooks. They enjoy eating, but maybe not to excess. So they're, more kind of average, and they could easily be an average weight. That is, they don't tend to overeat. And that would be true of the heaven stems here. These 4 heaven stems, they tend not to overeat also. The only one that's perhaps prone to being overweight would be those with the EG or HO. So one thing that is not terribly clear in the Chinese websites is whether or not we are looking at the heaven stem or the hidden stem. But since I have this star, and the difference between the hidden stem and the hidden stem and the heaven stem is quite a bit different, I'm going to use that as a way to see which one they're referring to. Now, I have this, the heaven stem is DR. If you remember, DR is somebody who's a picky eater and doesn't enjoy cooking, and that describes me perfectly. Whereas the EG is somebody who loves to eat, loves to cook, and oftentimes overeats so that it can affect their health. Well, that's definitely not me. So I think that what they refer to the stem is they're referring to the heaven stem. Because otherwise, because there is a fixed relationship between the branch and the hidden stems, it would seem to me they would simply just talk about the branches then. So, so I think that this is when they say the stem with the branch, they're referring to the heaven stem. And I think this is probably the way to look at it from most of the websites. But that I do surmise that it's only the heaven stem that matters when you're looking at what kind of influences happen to this particular star. Now, because there is so much variation in the completion branch, except for the two the two wood stars as your heaven stems, that is, and my day is a wood day, and so it doesn't matter which school, it's still the same. My year is a earth, and I don't have either completion branch in my uh, in my BaZi, so I can't make a comment about that because I don't have it. But the one that I do have does make sense when I look at the heaven stem. Now, if you do have this star, I would love to hear from you if the prediction is true, and you should check both schools. You just, to be certain. Of course, if you have Yangwood or Yinwood as where you have the connection, then it'll be the same. The two schools are the same. Now, in general, someone with this someone with the Celestial Kitchen Nobility Star does enjoy cooking and eating, unless the heaven stem is DR or IR, that of the location where the branch completes it. For me, it is my day stem that works with my hour branch, and so why that's what the pairing is. Now, one of my relatives actually say some people live to eat and others eat to live. And certainly my husband and I are the second one. I mean, we both have said if we didn't have to eat and we could still survive, we would be okay with not eating ever again. But of course, because we don't get a lot of enjoyment out of eating, neither of us does, and uh, and so especially me. But we don't have a choice. We have to eat. Now, the person who said this is the other way around. They really enjoy eating, and so they say they live to eat. So now this does not mean all people who live to eat have this star, but having this star makes it more likely. Now, if you have, for example, in your destiny chart, in the Chimin destiny chart, if that destiny sector has the rest door, you may also be someone who enjoys the finer things in life, including good food and that there are other ways you can be someone who really enjoys eating and not have this star. So this isn't like the only way. So if you happen to have the completion branch in your chart, and you look at both schools, look at both the heaven and hidden stems, and at least the main chi of the hidden stem, and see if it makes sense to your relationship with cooking and food. And so here's just the summary. Uh, if it's any one of these four, oftentimes your career has some relationship to food, or it's a thing that you probably can become more passionate about. So you would enjoy your work. But if it's DR or IR, you tend to be a picky eater, don't like to cook, so you're kind of like anti um, this the normal uh, interpretation. If it's EG or HO, you really love to cook and you're really good cook and you love to eat, but you might actually overeat and have health problems because of that. And if it's a friend or Rob Wealth, generally it's just the general level. Enjoys cooking and eating, but usually in moderation, and so does this first one here. So you don't tend to have problems, any really significant problems with your weight. Now, I would really be grateful if you do actually have this formation, that you'll just let me know what you think it predicts and whether or not it is represents you. I actually have quite a few people in my family that have this star, so especially because there are two schools to look at. Um, so if you do, please email me and with what your interpretation, how accurate you believe the description is of this star. And of course, you do have to know the 10 God that's associated with it. Joey Yap does it, and so does the BaZi.com website. They're both free. BaZi.com will allow you to do 10 BaZi charts for free every day, so that's not a big deal. You can't really use it for business, but you can use it to find out. And I don't think you need to register with the BaZi.com, but you do with Joey Yap, and you'll get tons of email. Just warning you. Now, I would like to also have you note which of the schools it applies to, and see if anything makes sense, because I'm trying to figure out who's right. Now, I hope to see a pattern that can tell me which is more correct. I'm right now slightly leaning towards school too, but I would like to see a bunch of other things. And the reason why I'm leaning towards school too is from the other analysis of the people I know. So both I and my hubby have the star. So interestingly, I actually have quite a few family members that have this star under school one's list. But I am the only one that has it under school two, because the two are identical for my particular daymaster. But the both my husband and I have it, and he's the one I would say I understand the best. And in my completion branch is in my hour. And it has the 10 God of the direct resources, which makes me not enjoy cooking, and I'm picky. And it's very spot on. I am a picky eater, I admit it, and I don't like to cook. I do bake, but when you bake, that whatever you bake can last, a long time, because you can freeze things. So I make 6 loaves of bread whenever I make bread, and that will last for a month. And so I don't have to do it so often. The one thing I don't like about cooking is it takes too much time out of my day, and it's not very interesting. So, and I don't say that baking is terribly interesting, but I also like what is made at home much, much better than anything that's store-bought, and it's a lot cheaper too. It really makes sense. When it tastes better and it's cheaper, how could you go wrong? Now, I have this formation, this Celestial Kitchen Nobility Star, only with my day stem and not my year stem. And it doesn't matter which school I look at, the year stem doesn't have it. Now, the hidden stem My completion branch is EG, which clearly does not describe me. So that is yet just reinforcing the thing that, yes, look at the heaven stem. Now, my husband has this formation only with school one, and I believe it is with his year, perhaps. But anyway, neither of the 10 gods, either in the heaven or hidden stems, seems to be very accurate, doesn't describe him very accurately. So that is, I mean, he does most of the day-to-day cooking, not because he enjoys it, rather because he he doesn't want to have takeout all the time, and it's just too expensive also. So he's willing to put in the time, and he also does for the day-to-day cooking. He's a good cook. I do some specialty cooking for like special occasions, but uh, that's only a couple times a year, and it's okay. I mean, I can't say I enjoy it, but everybody enjoys the food enough that I say, okay, I'll do it. So the fact that his nothing really seems to agree with what school one says, this is where I started to think that maybe school two is more correct. Now for me, since I have a wood daymaster, it doesn't matter which school, the the completion branch is the same for both the school one and school two for the two wood daymasters, or the two wood year branches. It will be the same. Now, I do have another relative who will remain anonymous, but they have this in their year pillar. Not just do they have a connection, this is in the year pillar. The right heaven stem and the right branch are together in one column. And that heaven stem is DO, and there's DR in the hidden stem. Now, this is for school one only also. And in this case, it does seem to be quite accurate, as this person used their love of food, not excessive love of food. They're very disciplined, so they don't overeat, but they use this as a career, not as a chef, but as a nutritionist. So this makes me think, well, maybe this is correct. So, I mean, this is how I try to do it in general. If I know someone that has this and I know them well enough, uh, can I say that this is true? Now, this individual would not have the Celestial Kitchen Nobility Star under school two, unless it came through the hour pillar. And we don't really, I personally don't really know the accurate time of birth. And I, I don't want to bother asking. Now, another relative has this star again, only under school one, as a day pillar. Again, not just with the day master and someplace else like me with the hour, in their day pillar. And this is supposed to indicate somebody who could become, or at least has the potential to be, a professional chef. But they aren't even a good cook, although they do enjoy eating, and do pay the price a bit for overeating in terms of health. So, but so again, I guess they can be wrong, because you do have to look at your entire chart also. And I did find this surprising that this person is not a good cook because their mother was a good cook. So it's a little weird. Now, this person also would not have the star under school two, unless again it's through the hour pillar. And we don't really know that time terribly well. Um, Even this person isn't certain, whereas I think this person has an easier chance of knowing exactly what time they were born, but they have to get their birth certificate, that kind of thing. So and then they have to pass the information on. But because quite a few people I know have this star from only school 1 and not school 2 and don't typically meet the properties of the star, I am leaning a bit towards school 2 is actually having the right set of completion branches. And also because Sohu, the website with Sohu, which has been very, very useful, uses school 2, I am leaning towards that also. However, if any of you guys have this, you could really help me determine which school is more accurate. And of course you have to analyze what you have and it's just follow along here. It's not that difficult to figure out. Maybe neither school is correct, or maybe they're both correct half the time or something like this. This is what I'm trying to find out. And you, my viewers, can help me, at least those that actually have this star or have people they know who have this star. And of course, at the end, when I give a few months for people to be able to give their input, I will probably do another video that will update this and say, you know, is school 1 more accurate or school 2 more accurate? Because they're very different, even though they're very clearly referring to the same Chinese character, star. I mean, the name is the same, but there are those 2 schools. It's just, this is the first time I've come across this. So I don't know who's right. So that's it. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Please feel free to email me here if you actually have the star and you judge whether or not it is good, and of course which school that you actually have the star with. And also, if you have just general comments, you can leave a comment. Again, I'd like to thank you guys because you help me become better by giving me your input or your response to what this says. So thanks again for watching.